Hey, what's up guys? It's Brian here, Brian's Lawn Maintenance. All right, I got a special video for you guys. I'm hanging out with Connor and Greg. This is a video that a lot of you guys have requested to see, is talking to some of the younger crowd that watches the videos. And this kid is 14 years old. He's making it happen. He's tearing it out of the frame. We're gonna do a Q&A with you and go over a bunch of questions that I have written down. I think it's gonna be a fun video for you guys. And so we're gonna tackle it right here, right now. Stay tuned.
Make the ground shake.
All right, so here's the deal. I know these guys from Weingartz. We actually met at a dealer open house 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yep.
Which we got another one coming up in about a month. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. And then Greg's obviously his dad. So we just got to talking while we were at Weingartz in the open house, and we've just kind of kept in touch ever since. Every probably 2-3 months, we shoot emails back and forth. He actually lives about 15 minutes from where I live. And I just think it's really cool. A lot of you guys know, like, I try to teach basic videos and simple concepts and help you guys start a more successful lawn care landscaping business. And Connor, how old are you?
14.
He's 14 years old. This kid is at his age in pay grade. He's making money like the Treasury Department. Like Greg keeps, we keep in touch, and he's telling me what he's making and what he's doing and the equipment he's buying. And so a lot of you guys have kids, or a lot of you guys are, 10 years old to 18 years old, and some of you are just getting started. All right, so I got some questions written down. We're gonna tackle them right here, right now, and we're just gonna keep it light and fun and go through this pretty quick. So why don't we start with just a quick introduction? Give them, like, how long have you been in business? Where you at equipment-wise? Maybe how many customers you have? And then you can answer as much as you want, or tell them as much as you want, or tell them nothing. I don't care.
Cool. All right. So I started out about 4 or 5 years ago, and when I started out, I had a push mower. It was one of the actual, ones you push, not self-propelled.
Okay.
And a electric, one of those weed whackers, a Black & Decker, and then a corded blower. It was a Toro.
Okay.
So that's what the equipment I started out with. My parents, they actually bought me the weed whacker, so that's probably that. They helped me get started in that way. It was like an $80. It's like an $80 purchase, and then my first lawn. It actually wasn't in my neighborhood. It was in 5 minutes away from my house.
Sure.
So I went and I did that, and I think I charged the customer like $15.
Just getting started.
Yeah.
Making it up.
I made, I think they gave me a tip, so I made like 20. And then I remember we went out to eat afterward, and I remember having the money in my hand and thinking like, wow, I just made like $15 doing something I enjoyed doing.
Yeah.
So that's where I got started.
How old were you back then? 10?
9 or 10.
Holy cow. That's so cool.
Yeah. So right now,
fast forward 4 years.
Yep. I have a Snapper Pro S200 XT zero turn.
Cool. And
you can look it up if you want to. It's a 61 inch. It's a pretty nice mower. It's actually up at Weingartz right now. It had some the head gasket blew on it, so
little maintenance.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then I have a Red Max EBZ 7500.
Red Max people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Love Red Max. And then I got I got their combi system. I have the 110 head attachment. They don't make that anymore. Now they make all the 111, the 131, all that. I think it just means it has like a bigger gas tank. They made a few tweaks to it. But I have the 110, and I have the weed whip attachment for it, with the speed feed head. Cool. And then the articulating hedge trimmer.
Look at that.
And then I think I got one more thing. I got a PB500T backpack blower, and that was like the first piece of commercial equipment.
Cool.
That I bought. So I think,
dude, that's awesome.
We're about caught up. Oh, forgot one thing. Also got a tractor, but I think I might sell it this spring. So that's
awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, okay, so you've been cutting lawns in the neighborhood and doing the whole deal as like the neighborhood kid.
Yep.
For 4 years.
Yeah.
Dude, that is awesome, man. I'm already impressed, because I remember when I was your age, I was probably doing a third of what you're doing. Yeah. How many customers do you have right now, by the way?
Well, right now in lawn care, just to give you guys an example, I have about 5 customers. Mm-hmm. My max was 7. I live in a neighborhood of about 66 homes.
Yeah.
And my company's actually going to expand this year into a whole nother neighborhood, and there's actually like quite a few more homes there.
Sure.
And for landscape work, I'd say I have about 25 customers, not clients but I mean, I don't know. I do some on-demand cuts like too. But
Yep. Like the one-time cuts.
Yeah.
So 5 to 10 customers on average.
Yeah, and
But you do work for 30 to 40 people maybe.
Yeah.
Something like that in a season.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
And then for one-time cuts, just to give you guys a little bit of a tip. Personally, where I'm at, I like to get, if I'm going to cut your lawn once, I want to make, quite a bit of money on it. So I add $15 onto whatever I was charging already.
Nice.
Just because if it is tall or something, then yeah, you might have to raise it even more. But just to get the extra $15, if people really like the way you cut grass, then it might encourage them to go with your weekly or bi-weekly service because it's, it's cheaper.
Yeah.
So.
Dude, so we'll keep going through all the questions. The only thing that impresses me more is than his business model is how this kid thinks. We've actually been in the truck for about an hour and a half talking and catching up because we only get to see each other once a year. And just the stuff he's saying already, the mentality that you have is just, it's really, really impressive.
Thank you.
All right, so what's next for your equipment purchase in 2019? If you already have a zero turn, a decent backpack blower, a combi, which is just impressive that you're only 14, you already have that much equipment for yourself. Anything cool that you're thinking about in 2019 picking up?
Well, not too much. I mean, anything can happen. Most of my equipment purchases, they actually weren't very planned out, to be honest. It's kind of just as you go thing, which I don't know if that's like very smart, but it tends to work out for me.
Sure.
My zero turn, I really didn't need that mower at all. In a way, for like how many lawn customers I have, in a way it's a stupid purchase, but it gets me around. And once I turn 16, I'll be able to use that. It'll be a key piece of equipment in my
for sure, in
my fleet. But this year I think I might purchase maybe something to hook up on the back of my ZTR, just to have, because
like
debris,
a cart or a wagon.
Yeah, debris removal's a pain where I'm at.
Sure.
I have a way of doing it, but it's if I could just be able to put more debris and stuff in the back,
makes sense,
then that would really help me out.
Get like a cart or a wagon or something.
Yeah, but we'll see. And then I might I don't know, I might upgrade, get another weed whip. Just because my other one, the head shaft has been bent.
Okay.
And I put gas instead of the gas oil mix in there one time before.
Yeah.
So it doesn't run too great. It could just be like I don't know. But
which one are you looking at? Do you got Steel, Echo? When we go to Weingartz, they have all of them.
Yeah, Weingartz has a really good selection.
Are you a Red Max guy, a Steel, or an Echo?
I go back and forth. For a while, I've kind of been a Red Max guy. I've wanted to have all Red Max stuff, but Steel and Echo both have really good products, and they're both they're all kind of reasonable on their prices. They're not too bad, but
pretty good trimmers.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe a new trimmer.
Maybe.
Okay.
We'll see.
All right, so here's some fun questions I have. These are really intense questions for a 14-year-old, right? It said, what was the biggest struggle that you had to overcome so far? And Dad, you can chime in, right? Because I want to know the parent perspective too. What's the biggest struggle you think you've had in the last 4 years, deciding to start a lawn care business and make some extra money on the side, but now it's growing a little bit and you're treating it more serious?
Yeah.
So maybe was it like managing your money or being patient because you don't have a car yet, right?
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think is the biggest bottleneck that you're frustrated with?
Well, I mean, there's quite a few things I could think of, but like as a specific thing, I'd say the hardest thing to do is like pricing out stuff at the correct. Because especially if you're like me, and because I'm just trying to reach the point to where I'm charging similar, like to the same or even higher prices than the companies in my neighborhood, just because. So when I grow into, I have all those expenses, I'm licensed and insured, and have all these extra expenses, and my profit margins like drop, right? Then I'll actually be able to, these customers that I have now, I'll actually be able to keep and make money off of.
Smart man.
Besides that, I'd say just waiting, because I can't drive, and it's so hard just to be stuck in like my little neighborhood. Yeah. And then
you want to conquer the world out there.
Yeah, I want to go around, but like I don't know, it kind of helps because it helps me establish some route density where I'm at. Yeah. So
that's smart. Let me ask you this, maybe to parlay on the same question, because I think you even touched on it, was, do you think your age has been a factor at all? Like, do you feel like you're at a disadvantage because you're younger? Do you feel like you're at an advantageous situation because you're younger? What do you think?
Well, I think when you're first starting out, I think being younger is a big advantage because most people aren't going to shut you down and
turn your way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They're going to be, especially if you're you're probably charging, cheaper prices because you're just starting out, which is totally fine. And so
they want to support you.
They want to help you out. Yeah, you know how it is. So I think when you're first starting out, but once you get to the point where you're trying to command these higher prices and you're a kid or you're a teenager or whatever, people, they want a discount. And sometimes, I think if you truly believe that, you do the same job, if not sometimes a better job than the professionals in your neighborhood, and that if you break something, you're going to fix it. And if you're going to stay in this, for the long run, I think it's okay to charge the same prices to maybe even a little bit higher than, the companies in your neighborhood. Clearly, you don't want to charge insane prices, but if you can stay in their ballpark, because, people who want to pay cheap prices, you don't really want them to hire you anyway. You want people who want to pay premiums, and then you can afford to do a good job for them.
You sound like you've watched a lot of videos.
But yeah, I mean, I have. I've probably spent more time watching videos of people cutting grass than I actually have spent
dude, that's awesome.
Cutting actual grass. So
I like it. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel like it's tough to justify the higher prices when you're younger, but you're smart enough to take on those customers because you know that once your business is bigger, you're going to have some overhead, and it's going to be a tougher sell later to raise your prices maybe to a fair rate.
Yeah.
So you're kind of already nipping that in the bud now, which is smart. You could make a little bit more money short term, but you'll make a lot more money long term.
Yeah. And I really don't know. My opinion could change. I could end up thinking that ask me when I'm 20, and then I'll tell you if it's more.
It was a good business model.
If you're a kid or not.
Yeah, this video hopefully 6 years later can help out somebody your age.
Yep.
Dude. I like it. Let me ask you this: what do your peers think about your business? Because you're 14, you're hustling. I'm sure you can play video games and go play softball and baseball.
Yep.
But let me ask you this: are some of your friends asking to work for you now and then to make some side money because they know you're putting some money in your pocket, or how's your?
Well, basically, if I do need help every once in a while, which I try to stay away from because it's kind of just
it's expensive.
Yeah, and then I can't get someone trained to the point where I'm at in one job.
Yep.
Obviously. So, but usually if I tell someone that I can, if they ask how much, I'll pay, I'll say, if I get any extra work, $10 an hour. And then they're usually on board for that.
Sure.
So I mean, people, I don't think they realize how serious it is.
Yeah.
Either, which is fine, because I kind of try to separate, my family, my business, and then my school and my friends and stuff like that. So, I'd say they don't really think much of it, but sometimes I have them, come work for me and stuff. So
Greg and I get a macro, a big picture. Your dad gets an even bigger picture, and you'll see those lines cross when you're 15, 16, 17, and you go to buy your first truck or car, and then when you're 18, 19, and I can just imagine extrapolating it out. You'll be making potentially $100,000, which I'm not saying it's a lot of money. I'm not saying it's not a lot of money, but it's a lot of money. That's okay.
Yeah.
And you're 19 years old and you got different options. You'll start seeing the fruits of your labor pay off more probably in the next 2-3 years, probably more than right now. Because right now you're laying the groundwork and the foundation. So I like that.
And I'm preparing to be just jealous now, and that way I won't be mad. I'm all prepared for him to make a lot of money.
This guy's who?
I don't understand any of it.
This guy's a hoot. This is the quietest we've both been together in an hour and a half. Because I got some good questions for him at the end too. All right, I got another one. What's the most fun thing you like to do in business? What's the most fun thing you like to do with your business? Cutting grass, or maybe doing some mulch, or pruning. Everybody has things that they like and enjoy.
Well, as a service, I like, cutting grass, but once you get into the late season, you start to get tired of it a little bit.
It gets boring after about July, August.
Yeah.
Then it's monotonous.
Yeah, you start to get burnt out with that, but I don't do a lot of hedge and ornamental tree trimming, stuff like that.
Okay.
So I like doing stuff property maintenance stuff. And the truth is, you're most likely having fun when you're making money, and when you're not, you're not having too much fun.
That's a great perspective.
But as I don't know, outside of that, probably my favorite thing to do is like networking. So stuff like this is pretty awesome.
Dude, I think there's so many opportunities, especially now with social media and the internet, to hang out with cool people and go to trade shows. I mean, I wasn't doing that at 14 years old, so kudos to you. And you already know more about what's going on than anybody, because at your age, you got time to look at all that stuff.
Yep.
Smart kid. Greg, I got a parent question, because I get a lot of questions from folks saying, it's a lot of questions from your age group, like, what can I do? And then it's really weird to me, but I get it, because we have a huge audience, and I get a lot of parent questions now saying, hey, what can I do to encourage my kids? And I'll be honest, I don't have any kids, so that's not hard to hide. But I want to get a parent perspective, because I had a good, and feel free to ad lib, do whatever you want to do. I said, what do you think are some good things you've done as a parent of a young entrepreneur to encourage what he's doing?
Probably the best thing was safety, to believe it or not. I would put on that, when I'd cut lawn or whatever, I'd put on the headphones, or what are they called again?
The safety glasses, the ear protection.
And
be a good example.
And the eye, the eye gear, because, maybe I'm a little paranoid about all that stuff, but I mean, obviously then when you're, I don't know, what were you, 8? When you start...
Yeah, when I start cutting
I have
lawn,
a picture of him pushing the push mower, and he's...
Yeah, and the bars
we can
over
prove
my
it.
head.
I'll send that to you.
Oh, I know. I've been there.
Where he's pushing the mower, and it's like, okay, that's why I went... Because I did buy one piece of equipment, and that was a push mower, because we have a small yard.
And then the weed whacker.
And then I bought a small weed whacker, and I actually set the lawn up so I wouldn't have to weed whack, so it was kind of a game for me.
Smart.
But I didn't want self-propelled, because I felt that could be dangerous. So the push mower was great, gets him in better shape, whatever, and he'd have a hard time pushing it, but I knew it wouldn't like back up or just pull him or do something terrible.
Yeah.
So that's one of the biggest fears, and then of course all your neighbors are like, why are you letting this kid push, power
Child
equipment
labor
around?
laws.
Exactly.
Oh,
but overall he it depends on your kid too.
Yeah.
I mean, he's obviously, he just turned 14, so the truth is every kid is different.
Right.
So I feel like he was okay with the equipment. He would listen, things like that. So anyway, I've always, I yell at him if he didn't have the right equipment on, things like that. And I think overall, that's the biggest thing, is safety. You have to make sure that they know what they're doing on the equipment.
Yeah.
And then now he literally can cut. He taught me how to use the zero turn.
Oh, sure.
So, and I listened, and I don't, it's kind of strange.
Yeah.
But I listened to him, and I,
Sure.
I worked for him a few days.
Yeah.
He's a terrible boss.
Yeah,
I do not want
no.
to work for him.
You got to do the lines straight, Dad.
But
the lines are all over.
Yeah. I mean,
you're out of here.
But I got to hand it to guys like yourself.
Sure.
I mean, he watches YouTube stations and things like that, channels.
Yep.
And yours is obviously one of them, which was random. We did meet randomly at Weingartz.
It was very random. And then we had like an hour-long conversation.
Exactly.
I think I put a YouTube comment. I'm like, hey, when are you doing the Weingartz thing?
Oh yeah, okay.
Because I saw from the year before you were at Farmington Hills, so like, hey, maybe you'll be there.
We'll be there.
And then he was there. So that was in 2016.
Didn't you skip school off the record to come?
No,
I don't know. We're not promoting that.
It was actually after school.
It was after school.
It was after school.
Okay, we don't promote. We don't promote that.
Yeah.
But if you want to.
Laws.
Yeah. I got another one for Greg. It was, what has been the hardest thing seeing your son have to overcome while being in business?
Right. Again, I think it's, every kid's different. And so in his case, I really think what it was is that he has to be enjoying it still.
Sure.
Because you're a kid, you're cutting lawns. It's like,
don't grow up too fast.
Yeah, and have fun. But with him, it's a stressful thing, because he is impatient.
Sure.
He wanted to hire people at probably a year ago. I mean, and I kept saying, hey, look, I don't know a lot about this, but I know that,
I need help,
smaller business model and things like that'll work, staying local, like you guys say. But definitely the biggest thing is for him, and that's his personality, it's Conor's personality, is just still enjoying working and realizing that it's not just about
the money,
how many jobs you have and how big you are and how much money you're making, and that goes with everything.
I did a video on that maybe a few before this, saying the same thing. Like, you have to have those long-term plans, those long-term goals, and we're all going to conquer the world. I get it, but be patient and be joyful, be happy in the now, sometimes you got to think about like where you've come from.
Right.
You know, and
like when we met you had like 1 subscriber, right?
Yeah. Well, I think I still have 1 subscriber. I don't know. At least I know I got 2 fans, right? So,
I don't even have a YouTube channel.
yeah. Let me do this. Open mic for you. What's some stuff that you like, or maybe some things that you could help other kids your age that are 10 to 16 years old, and they're like, hey, lawn care. I like being outdoors. I like cutting grass. Anything that maybe you could give those guys encouragement on when they're getting a business started of their own? No right or wrong answer.
Yeah, I think like a big thing, like they said, was patience. But like another thing, which I mean, it's kind of like almost counterintuitive to patience, but it's definitely like realize that there's always something that you can be doing to improve your business. Like even if it's something that like you might not want to do. Like I remember when I was first starting out, I remember I like really wanted to go out and cut grass, but I didn't have any customers, so I just didn't really, do a lot of stuff. I just kind of waited around.
Yeah.
When I could have been, and like keep it like I was like a 9-year-old, 10-year-old kid, so like still.
You're way young kid.
Yeah,
you're way immature.
Like but like I could have been, like doing flyers and stuff and trying to get business. Like there's always something you can be doing to improve your business, and if it's not that, like hey, like I don't know, if you kind of need some encouragement, I recommend just like if you have like a YouTube channel or whatever, go on there, like make a comment on someone's video when it like just comes out, and sometimes they'll like respond, and then that's like a really cool thing. So
that's really cool, man. I like that. So always learning, always being a student. We preach that a lot, That's really cool. I will tell you, I've been impressed. Like I said, we shoot emails back and forth, I don't know, once every couple months. And I've seen your equipment grow, and I know I always get updates from Greg, which is awesome, seeing like you're making more money. I don't know how to do this one, but are you making some money with your lawn care business?
Yeah, I'm making, I don't know, I could give a number, but like...
So his dad told me what he has in his checking account, and it's scary, actually. And the number you're all thinking right now is what I thought. And then takes that and times it by 5. And I said, there's no freaking way. And he goes, yes, sir. And I said, there's no freaking way. And he goes, yeah. And I said, dude, that is so cool for a young kid his age. And it's not $1 million, okay?
You gotta save your money, that's the thing. Like
save your money.
It doesn't include the money I take from him.
I spend
now that's cool because you're rent-free.
He thinks I take money from him,
rent-free, food-free, so man, to be 15 again.
Yeah, I don't
live
have
at
expenses, home. So,
No
well, he does, I mean, but granted,
here,
I will give him credit. He did buy everything.
He bought everything.
And he does pay for his gas and all that. And, so
that's awesome.
It's not one of those situations where, and which is fine. If you're a parent, you want to start him off with stuff. But I mean, I started him off with just stuff I had because I needed it for, our house.
Yeah. Makes
so
sense.
he's had some luck with what he's been able to buy and the discount and stuff.
Yeah,
we ran into a great deal on a zero turn, that we didn't expect.
Sure.
But he literally emptied. He did empty his bank account out for that zero turn, and he's made 3 times over it back.
That's so awesome.
So it's.
I'm sorry.
He takes risks.
Yeah, I'm sorry to cut in, but
it's your show.
Your show.
But when making like a purchase like that, you gotta be careful because like it's in the shop right now. There's like a $910 repair for the head gasket.
Yeah.
Right now.
Plus
so you gotta watch out for stuff like that because if you wipe your bank account, you want to at least make sure that like worst case scenario, your parents will like. I don't know. And then you can pay them back or whatever. Like usually that won't happen, but just like.
But you had the money in the bank.
Keep in mind.
100%.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
100%.
I think folks always ask me like, again, you want to be a kid and enjoy that phase of your life for sure. I'm not promoting you to start and be Mr. Successful at 14 years old. Okay. Now at the same point, you can already start making some good money and fund your hobbies and. Fun things that you're into. If you like kayaking or paintball, start a lawn care business on the side and pay for your hobbies and don't drain the parents' bank accounts. That's a good philosophy of life right now. Maybe some 26-year-olds could apply that to it. But anyway, so that being said, this is really cool. This is really fun because maybe we'll do a follow-up video in a year or something.
Yeah.
And we'll touch base every once in a while because to be 14, to have 7-8 clients doing work for 25 people a year, like that's a cool little hustle. That's I'm proud of you. I know your dad's proud of you. We talk enough to where I know your dad is just, the sky's the limit, is what I keep hearing. And I think that's really cool, especially at your age. I gotta add something real quick. Neither of these guys know this is gonna happen, is that I got something in here, because I always like surprises. So this guy is getting a pair of IsoTune headphones. This is the new ones. This is not a plug for IsoTunes, okay? They're a brand partner for us, and a lot of you guys use the codes, but this is for you big time, because hearing is important, safety is important.
100%.
They sent me a few of these throughout the year to do giveaways and whatnot, and they've been a great partner into the community, so that's for you.
All right, yeah,
Stay safe.
you,
Those are probably 80 to 100 bucks, I don't know.
Yeah.
So thanks to all you guys that use the Brian's 10, but this is how I can bless other people and bless you guys. So that way you got some new headphones.
Well, thank you so much, because I've actually, my other headphones are all
They've
messed
degraded.
up, so.
The other headphones are gone. Perfect timing, right? So, and that's my way of saying thank you as well for doing the video, because it's not about the views and the subs and everything. I really sincerely care that you guys are learning good stuff. And when I was talking to Greg, I said, "Are you comfortable with it?" And he said, "Dude, he's got a great story to tell. Let's do it." So, all right, that's it. Any final thoughts from you guys?
If you guys want to get in contact with me, and if you guys have any questions,
Instagram.
I set up an Instagram thing a few days ago. I already have a few other accounts, but this will be my specific.
Which one is that?
Lawn care one.
Okay.
It's my Shopscape account, so you can link it in the description.
I'll make a little slider right here for you guys.
All right, cool.
I love it. Give him a follow, support what he's doing. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Greg, you got any final thoughts, brother?
No.
We already did an hour and a half of talking. We've been having a good time. So, all right, if you're 14, you can make it happen. No excuses. And any which way, if you guys enjoyed this video, shoot a big thumbs up. Maybe say an encouraging word to Conor and let him know how much you guys are proud of him as well. But that's pretty much it. So we'll catch you guys in the next video. Over and out.